Some big news in the MMA world. Shavkat Rakhmonov has called out Belal Muhammad for essentially ducking him, turning down a fight with him. Shavkat Rakhmonov in a recent interview says that Belal Muhammad was offered to fight him on October the 5th at UFC 307, but Belal Muhammad declined. Shavkat then goes on to say in the interview, he said he's going to be an active champion, but at the moment he wasn't backing up what he said. Now, is this true? Is this not true? Why would Shavkat Rakhmonov lie about it? That would be my first thing. But, I mean, it's a bit of a quick turnaround for Belal Muhammad, no? I mean, the guy did fight at UFC 304. Now, was his fight against Leon Edwards one-sided? Yes, it was one-sided. Belal Muhammad beat him up for 5 rounds. Didn't really sustain any damage in there, to be fair. However, in the 5th round, I'm pretty sure it was the 5th round, Leon Edwards hit him with an elbow, cut him open. So he did suffer a cut in that fight. Now, obviously, a cut doesn't take like 4 months nearly to heal. So he probably would have been ready for this time. But, I mean, he's a new champion. I'm sure he wants to take time off. He probably had a brutal camp in there to get ready for Leon Edwards. They went 5 rounds at a pretty decent pace as well. A lot of grappling involved in there. Maybe he was nursing some injuries before that fight and now he needs to just take time off and heal. Who knows what's going on? I mean, one thing I will say though is a lot of people, especially in the comments here, the Shavkat Rakhmonov fanboys, which in my opinion are starting to get worse than the Alex Pereira fanboys. Belal Muhammad is not scared of Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't know why people think this. I don't see the hype in Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he's a great fighter. He will more than likely one day be champion. Yeah, I do believe that. More than likely one day be champion. But right now, what has he really done in the UFC where you can be like, yeah, he's a champion. Yeah, he's going to be the face of this division. Yeah, he's going to beat Belal Muhammad with ease. Who has he beat? A washed up wonder boy. That's his best win. Other than that, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal pieced him up on the feet for parts of that fight, which people don't talk about. Jeff Neal exposed Shavkat Rakhmonov for not having the best striking in there, especially striking defense. A lot of people do not talk about that because of the way the fight finished, which, in fairness, was brutal. I've never seen a submission like that. It was a really brutal finish from Shavkat Rakhmonov, and that is what he's good at. He's 6-0 in the UFC now with 6 finishes. He does have a lot of hype. He's got like a cult-like following behind him. A lot of these people love him. I'm so fucking thirsty. Ugh, holy shit. But yeah, Shavkat Rakhmonov called him out. Now, what I want to say is, talking about people being active, this guy hasn't fought since, what, UFC 296? Is that the last time he fought? And that was against Wonderboy. So he hasn't even fought this year at all. Again, that's another thing about Shavkat. He isn't the most active fighter either. But anyway, Belal Muhammad, the current welterweight champion, ended up responding to Shavkat Rakhmonov, saying, inactive, ? Lol, I'm still on trial. And Shavkat hasn't fought since 2023. Again, I just spoke about that. I think Shavkat and Usman should fight to find out who the real number 1 contender is. Would be handy if I could read English. Right. Belal Muhammad does make a good point here. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Usman for the number 1 contender fight would make a lot of sense. Well, no, actually, I think Shavkat versus JDM for a number 1 contender fight would make more sense. JDM arguably deserves it more than what Shavkat Rakhmonov does, because I think a win over Gilbert Burns and the way he finished Gilbert Burns is better than any win that Shavkat Rakhmonov has. Just my opinion. But yeah, Usman versus Shavkat would be a great fight, but if Shavkat or Usman fight each other, then who does Belal fight? Now, I have said time and time again, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me on this one, I do believe Leon deserves his immediate title rematch. Look at what the guy's done. When his title reign, he KO'd Usman with a head kick. He then schooled Usman for 5 rounds. He fought Colby Covington. When he got in there with Colby was that scared of him, he couldn't even fight out his normal game plan. And he was undefeated for 9 years. I think Leon Edwards is being overlooked here. He definitely won't get his immediate title rematch. Let's be honest, the UFC will not do that. So realistically, it is going to be between Shavkat and Usman. Now, in terms of for Belal Muhammad, if you're looking at this, legacy-wise, having Usman on your resume is way better now than having Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov in the future could be a massive, massive win, could be a really good name to have on your resume. But Belal Muhammad has came out in he's been on social media, he made a diss track about Kamaru Usman. So in my mind, it looks as if Belal Muhammad is wanting the Kamaru Usman fight. I don't think that fight makes sense for a number of reasons. One, Usman's last fight was in the middleweight division. He's currently on a 3-fight losing streak as well. I like Usman. He's arguably he is the second best welterweight of all time. However, he needs a win. He cannot fight for this belt again without getting a win, in my opinion, which then would leave Shavkat Rakhmonov as the guy who is more than likely going to get the title fight next. I think this will more than likely happen at UFC 310 unless Conor McGregor decides that he wants to come back and fight. I think this fight will be on that card, and it should definitely be an event as well. Shavkat Rakhmonov and Belal Muhammad are big enough names, in my opinion, that they could main event this card, and I think it will be a pretty interesting fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov, an out-and-out finisher. Bully B, Belal Muhammad, remember the decision. A lot of people will not like how this fight goes, though, because Belal Muhammad is a better grappler than Shavkat Rakhmonov, in my opinion anyway, and the volume that Belal shows in his striking and the way he's so fluent in moving in between each stances, which he is. Look at the Gilbert Burns fight for an example. Especially in the Gilbert Burns fight, he done a good job utilising his kicks, especially to the body in there. I think Belal Muhammad styles on Shavkat Rakhmonov in there. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Who should be next for Belal Muhammad? And is Belal Muhammad scared of Shavkat Rakhmonov? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.